In this video, we want to take a look at installing DHCP onto our Linux server. Put together a document of the questions that we'll need to answer. We do need to mount the ISO file so that the source files for DHCP can be pulled off of this and brought into the server. We need to know our domain name, subnet ID, and so on. Now most of this is unique to my installation. We do want to lease a common range, and we all want to create a reservation for our client. I've got my MAC address, and I've got the address I wish to reserve for the client. To verify that we have the DVD mounted, we can see it here on the desktop, and then we head into YAST. Authenticate as root. And then down here in the list we have DHCP. Okay. It asks us to select the interface that we want to listen for DHCP broadcasts on. We only have one interface, but we still need to select it. And now we just start filling in the wizards, or the wizard spaces. This is me, bobstaco.com. In a domain environment, the clients are all set up to receive their time information from the domain control holding the PDC emulator role. Our name server, our DNS server is DC1 172.16. Default gateway for my DevNet network. Default lease time that's shown here is 4 hours. We'll get a chance in a minute to change that to a little bit longer. Okay, looks good. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go with, I'm going to bump this up to 8 hours for a default lease time and a maximum of 2 days. If we were doing, we're allowing DHCP to update DNS, we could use this, head this way with the wizard. We can identify our range of IP addresses we wish to lease. I wanted to lease from .18.10 to .49. Okay, double checking here as we look at stuff. Okay. All right. Another, like we saw with DNS, we need to define when we want the service or the daemon to run, and I'm choosing to have it start when the server reboots. We'll go ahead and finish this, and we'll come back in and do the configuration for a reservation. Okay. So here we are. We could go back and double check the settings that we had done earlier. We could make changes if we needed to. But where I'm headed here is I'm headed to host management. This is where I can enter the MAC address and create a reservation for my Windows 8 client. So my client's name, host name is CL1. Hardware address. Now I just pasted that in. I entered that in my text file, and so I was just able to copy and paste it. One thing I'd point out is that in different distributions of Linux, there's different ways that you enter the MAC address. And some of them, you don't put anything between the 2 hex characters. Others, you put a dash. You kind of have to trial and error. One of the nice things about the YAST interface is that when you enter your address here, you can go ahead and click Add and see if it accepts it. Oh, forgot the IP address. 192.168.18.20. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay, so we're good. Client 1 reserved at .20, and there's the MAC address, and we go ahead and hit OK. You know, often it is a good practice to go ahead and reboot, and I won't include that in the video. But let's just hop over to our client 1 and see if we can verify this. So client 1, you can see here that it's currently offline. And if I do an ipconfig renew, let's try that. Oop, let's type it in. Okay. what we're hoping is that it'll contact our server and pick up that reserved address for it. And it looks like it did, but I really should have done, well, actually I'll do it now, ipconfig/all. I want to see the IP address of the server that gave it the lease. And so here it is, DHCP server. And that is our Linux box. So good enough, good to go, we did it. So we've installed DNS, now we've installed DHCP, and we're just working our way through getting our Linux server up and running. I hope you found the video helpful.